So we just finished, because of Winn-Dixie, we have gone on quite the journey with our main character, Opal. We've traveled Story Mountain with Opal. So we have moved to Naomi with Opal. If your attention is here, thank you. So we moved to Naomi with Opal. We met her new friends. We were there as she started to make friends. We were there in the book when Winn-Dixie was lost. We were there when Winn-Dixie was found. Similarly to, I've been on some journeys with you guys in our reading groups. You've been on journeys amongst yourselves with the books that you're reading in your book bin. We've gone through so many different Story Mountains so far this year, which is super exciting. So, as a character's journey comes to a close, so we're down here at our resolution, as our character's journey comes to a close, we can expect that somehow, throughout the experience, our character will have changed. The story's over, and Opal is not the same now as she was in the beginning. Just like when we do our shared reads, by the time Friday comes, we're asking ourselves, what do we know now that we didn't know Monday? Opal knows a lot now that she didn't know at the beginning of the story. So I want to teach you today that after a character has resolved a problem, we've made it to the resolution, we've climbed Story Mountain, readers will ask, what does the character know now that he or she didn't know at the start of the story? What lessons can that teach others about life? So I want to go back to the end. I'm just going to read two quick pages, 178, 179. So this is in chapter 26. And I'm going to be thinking about how has Opal grown. So here are those 2 pages from the end again. Let's see. Daddy is going to tell me more. I know he will, now that he knows you're not coming back. He misses you and I miss you, but my heart doesn't feel empty anymore. Just talking about her mom here. It's full all the way up. I'll still think about you, I promise, but probably not as much as I did this summer. That's what I said that night underneath Gloria Dump's mistake tree. And after I was done saying it, I stood just staring up at the sky, looking at the constellations and planets. And then I remembered my own tree, the one Gloria had helped me plant. I hadn't looked at it for a long time. I went crawling around on my hands and knees searching for it, and when I found it, I was surprised at how much it had grown. It was still small. It still looked more like a plant than a tree, but the leaves and the branches felt real strong and good and right. And I was down there on my knees when I heard a voice say, "Are you praying?" I looked up. It was Dunlap. "No," I said, "I'm not praying, I'm thinking." He crossed his arms and looked down at me. "What about?" he asked. "All kinds of different things," I said. "I'm sorry that I called you and Stevie bald-headed babies." "That's all right," he said. "Gloria told me to come out here and get you." "I told you she wasn't a witch." "I know it," he said. "I knew it all along. I was just teasing you." "Oh," I said. I looked at him close. It was hard to see him good in the dark yard. "Ain't you ever going to stand up?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. And then he surprised me. He did something never in a million years I thought a Dewberry boy would do. He held out his hand to help me up, and I took it, and I let him pull me to my feet. She's grown a lot, hasn't she? I mean, the way she's talking about her mom, the way she's talking about the Dewberry boys. What I want you to do is turn and talk. What has she learned? And through her learning, what can we learn? We're going to practice a full participation turn and talk because next week we will be looking very closely at our participation. So what has she learned and what can we learn from her? Turn and talk. Wow. Everybody turn right away. What? In class, class? And we turn right back. That's an example of a turn and talk where everybody would get full participation credit. That wasn't so hard, was it?
Yeah.
It was not that bad. I want to know what you talked about. So what did Opal learn, and what can we learn from her? We're also going to be keeping track of how many people put their hands up and how many times they offer their advice. So we can practice now. This is a safe place. So what did Opal learn now? To hear.
She learned that.
Thank you for tracking the speaker.
She learned that the witch wasn't really a witch.
Yeah. Gloria Jump wasn't really a witch. And to hear, we had a great conversation about why she learned that or how she learned that. What did Opal do to figure that out?
See, off the fence, and then the boys, they said don't go over there, and then she stood behind her, and then she met the witch, and then she went every day.
Yes, she took the time. She went every day. She took the time to know her. So she could have believed the Dewberry Boys, but she took the time to know her. Anna.
That a dog is a big responsibility.
That is definitely something she learned. We heard that in the book. We saw that in the movie, like the church scene where the dog's barking outside or the dog's running all over the place. She definitely learned a lot about responsibility there. Remember, if you have something to agree with, you can show me. Matthew. Absolutely. So that connects to what Anna just said. And I see some people agreeing. What about her mom and the Dewberry Boys? What else did she learn? I see some more hands coming out. Mercedes. She did wish her mom would come back. But how did she shift throughout it? Listen to this one paragraph again. How did she shift? I'm going to read just a couple of sentences. So she's always wanted her mom to come back, right? But then listen to this. I miss you, but my heart doesn't feel empty anymore. It's full all the way up. I'll still think about you, but probably not as much as I did this summer. What has she learned? How has she shifted a little bit? Asia, what are you thinking? If you're tracking the speaker, thank you very much.
A lot of friends. She kind of said I kind of want my mom back, but I have a bunch of friends that even.
Yeah, and that connects to that line, my heart is full, right? So she's feeling good. So I'm going to have to cut us off there. I love that there are still hands up in the air, but I want to, I'm holding myself accountable to this timer. So today, as you are reading, everybody has books in their book bin. Many of you are reading some great stories. You could be at different parts of Story Mountain right now. If you are tracking the speaker, which this entire middle section is, everybody who's at the carpet is tracking the speaker. Thank you to the carpet. In your book bins, in all of your books, you should have a bunch of them, but you're in different parts of Story Mountain. Thank you for trying to help your classmates. As you get to your resolution, as you get to the end, take a moment to reflect on the character. What has the character learned? And what can I learn from the character? We're going to count 1, 2, 3.